What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and we are back with another Man United news roundup. Apologies ahead of time if I seem a little tired. It's been a long couple days. It's been crazy. I had to get up super early this morning, drop my dog off to get surgery. Literally had to be there at like 7 o'clock. So it was an early one, and then it's just been kind of a stressful day, not knowing what's going on. But everything's good there. But it's just been a long one. Plus, it's bad allergies today, which is making me super sleepy as well. So all my allergy sufferers, solidarity, I get you. But we are back, and we've got a lot to talk about today. Mostly a lot of Šeško stuff going on. Just when you think we're kind of done talking about Šeško, no, it rears its ugly head, and we're going to talk about it some more. So talk about Šeško, talk about a couple of exits, some loans potentially, and I do have a scouting report for you, position we haven't discussed in a while on the channel in terms of scouting report. So I'm excited to revisit that. Hint, hint, someone from the Belgian league. So keep that in mind. No, it's not he who shall not be named, but it is someone from the Belgian league. So we're going to get stuck in on all that today. Hope you guys are doing well. How's everybody's Monday going? It doesn't really feel like Monday, does it? It's been kind of a weird kind of Monday. It's been raining here most of the afternoon, and it's been kind of gross, but let's see what we got in the chat here. Danny, big up, Danny. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Danny said, not on this Šeško train at all, to be honest. You guys know how I feel about Šeško. We're going to talk a little bit more about it today because I'm always interested to hear mostly just what you guys have to say. Like I said, this is really your channel. I'm just kind of here to throw out the topics and kind of keep the ball rolling, if you will. I need to get You know what I need to do? So a long time ago, I had an introduction video, but then I changed the name of the channel. So the old introduction video kind of became moot, kind of a bummer because it does cost money to do that. But maybe I should get another one now that I've got more footage, more photos and whatnot. Is that something you guys think I should do? Would you guys care if there was like a 15-second intro video at the beginning of this? You guys let me know in the chat. But big up, Danny, Rob. Welcome back, Rob. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Rob became the newest member of the channel not that long ago, so big up, Rob. Appreciate it. Frank Lyford, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Says would love Šeško at United. Well, get involved in the poll. We do have a poll going on in the chat. We have talked a lot about Šeško. We did that video the other day. What was that? I feel like the other day. It was probably like, Thursday, Friday last week. Comparing him and Ollie Watkins, because those seem to be the two favorites among you guys and among the general United fan base. And so we kind of did a really deep dive, closer look, scouting report at both those players. So go look at that video. You'll see it. You can't miss the thumbnail. It's literally just Šeško and Watkins doing a little pose. You guys know the thumbnails we're talking about. At least I don't have to find any more Gyökeres thumbnails. That was getting on my nerves because I must have used Gyökeres like 12 times. And there's only so many different photos of him out there, just of him going like this or some shit. And nobody wants to see 12 different thumbnails of that. So Slices said, did you go to the United match, bro? I did not, man. I watch the friendlies. I'm definitely not going to travel to watch them. And that's not me like trying to be all like above it or like, they're expensive. Anything like that is expensive here in the US. When they used to do the International Champions Cup and stuff, it was expensive. Tickets are crazy expensive. Pretty much any sporting event in the U.S. is crazy expensive. I don't care if it's baseball, if you want to go watch some golf, you want to watch a couple of old people play pickleball or something, it's going to cost you a bit of money. So it is what it is. No offense. I know a lot of people like pickleball. It is, but anything, it's expensive. And so, no, it would have been like, what was it, Chicago? That would have been like 3.5 to 4 hours for me to even go there. So you got to go that. I used to live out that way, so I know how long it takes. You gain an hour, but it's still like it's a bit of a hike. So no, did not go to the matches. But Dylan and I, if you guys have been on the channel, you guys know Dylan. He and I will be going to Manchester in December. This will be my 4th trip. I'm super excited. Dylan's first time going, so we're super excited for Dylan to go. I'm excited to see if anyone thinks that he's Christian Eriksen and tries to snap photos. But we'll be going to December, going to Wolves, going to Newcastle. Once the Academy match fixture list is released, maybe we can squeeze in an Academy game. If not, there's a Salford game as well. And I did go to Salford this past season with Justin. Justin and I went back, so it was good times though. But I did not. But did anybody here who lives in the States, did anybody planning to go to any of these friendlies? Has anybody gone to any of these friendlies? Let me know. I know a couple people, I think, went last summer, the summer series. But It's just not my thing. The only thing I care about friendlies, you guys know, I care about no injuries and youngsters getting some minutes. That's really all I really want to see in these friendlies. So Danny says, I watched all of Arokadere goal and assist today. His movement is top notch, always seems to be in the right place at the right time in the box, strong and solid in the air too. Yeah, I think, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, but as far as strikers from outside of the Premier League who look like they could really like take just a very small amount of time to adjust to the Premier League, Rocadere is definitely one that I'm like, I think would slot right in, especially in the right system in terms of just a system that's really going to utilize what he offers. And it's a punt. It's like what, 20-25 million for him, probably maybe 30 million tops. I think that would be worth it in my opinion. No, I think the risk with him would be pretty small. So Frank says Šeško is better than Watkins. Well, you can go watch that video. You can learn a little bit about both. Look at some numbers. We did do some comparisons. We did throw a couple of the percentiles right up against each other, overlap from FB Refs. You guys can take a look at that. So Slicer says, we definitely not getting Watkins. Villa don't want to sell him. I'm sure they don't, but we'll see what happens. Never say never. The problem with Villa is, they're struggling PSR-wise, right? They're not that deep. Like, they don't have a ton of strikers. And so even if we did like a Garnacho swap type of thing, swap on paper, right? We pay 60, they pay 60, everybody wins. They're going to be even without a striker, and all they've got is a winger. So it's just, yeah, I think, do they still have Daniel Mellon? I can't ever remember who was a loan and who was a purchase in January. If they still have Daniel Mellon, he can play striker. He did play striker a lot at PSV. But I don't know if he's the guy that you want leading that attack. He is not the striker. Dylan, speak of the devil, big up, chilling with Dylan. It is going to be fun time, man. Dude, if you're not busy, you should let me know if you want to jump on. I'll send you a link, dude. But Dylan, yeah, I'm excited for Dylan, man. It's going to be good times. Nota says, I don't think we will get Watkins or Šeško. I mean, I wouldn't say no to Watkins. You guys know I rate Watkins. I just don't want to spend a lot of money on him. So it is what it is. Slices says, that's great to hear you coming to Manchester. Dude, I love it. Like I said, I've been there 3 times already. I've gone to 6 United matches, 4 Premier League matches, 1 Champions League, 1 Europa League, couple of Salford matches, an FA Youth Cup match as well. I have a blast. I love it there, man. I love hanging out. I love just hanging out at the Blaze, going downtown, getting my duck burger at the Arndale, the mall downtown. It's good times. I'm always on the lookout for new places to go eat, though. So if anyone's got some really good spots, let me know in the chat. Dylan and I will try to hit them up. So we have a blast. I always have a blast when I go, man. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. It's once I got the hang of the tram system, it became a lot easier. That first trip was rough because we just don't have that stuff here in the States. Literally, we drive everywhere. Everything is like 5 to 10 minutes away here. So it just is what it is. So Slices wants to know, what other strikers can we get if we don't get Šeško? Well, I did do a couple of videos last week as well, Slices. So I did 2 kind of striker scouting reports video. One was on like first team strikers out there that who I think could really come and do a job who no one's really talking about. So go check that one out. And then another video on young strikers who are kind of up and coming and ready, could come in and kind of be a rotation option or something. So go check both those videos out. Those were fun. Is Mountain still there? Yeah. I can't remember who Villa have on loan, and I can only remember who's there. Like, is Leon Bailey still there? I know they got rid of who's the kid they got? The other kid they got from Leverkusen, the other winger that ended up going to the Saudi league like within 2 years. I forget what it was though. Diaby, is that was his name? He says they sold their women's team for PSR. Everybody's doing that. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Big up. Teresa, it's been a minute, Teresa. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Šeško is too expensive. Doubt it'll happen. Yeah, I don't. And we've spoken about this a couple times on the channel. I put a lot of polls up. I put votes up. And I literally asked last week in one of the polls, like, if you had 100 million left to go and you had 2 positions, striker and a center midfielder, and the director of football, Will Cox, was like, all right, we can spend 70 on one and we can spend 30 on the other. Which one would you spend the most money on? A lot of people seem to think that it's still striker. I just don't think there are a whole lot of 70 million strikers out there right now. And I do think that there are 70 million pound midfielders who, if you were going to go big, you could definitely afford to go and get someone like a Zaire Emery, someone like that can easily come in and do a big job. But there are a lot of strikers out there. If you're going to spend 70 million on a striker, you're going to go get Pavlidis from Benfica. That's probably the one that I would spend 50, 60 million on right now. He's literally tier 2 below Gyökeres and Osimhen in term. If you just look at his numbers. Dylan says, send me a link, man. I just found out I don't have to work tonight. I'm open. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shoot Dylan a link real quick, you guys. Give me one hot second here. We're going to get Dylan on the channel so you guys can come chill. And then let me put my headphones on. So make sure I haven't even said, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure you check those memberships out as well. You guys, it's the best way to get involved in the content on the channel. We're doing a little impromptu kickabout tonight. So, I'm excited. I love this stuff. Let me plug my headphones in so we can't get any echoes here. Bish bash. Sorry, Alex. Don't want to copyright you, Alice. But that's awesome. Yes, I'm excited for Dylan to jump on. So you guys, yes, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you subscribe. If we do get the 3K before United starts the season off, we will do a giveaway. Remember, I promised a brand new 25-26 shirt to the winner of that giveaway of your choosing. You can pick home, away, a third player. If you want to put some Carabao Cup patches on that, Johns, we'll hook you up. I'll throw down on that for you. But you guys let me know. But is it up to you as well? While we're waiting for Dylan, you guys can go check out the UVE store as well. You can see a link down in the video description or on the main page as well. Tons of new designs, including a brand new Embuemo shirt. So take a look at that. You're talking about Hyomin, Frank. Yeah, we've been linked to him a couple times. I'm not sure how legit those are, but we will see what happens with that one. But I do like Hyomin. You guys know I scouted him when he was still at Lecce. He's a very good midfielder. Amorim really turned him into almost a complete midfielder for this system because he was a very deep-lying destroyer when he was at Lecce, and Amorim really added a couple strings to his bow. So, Dylan, if you're watching, I did send the email, so Balaji says, if Watkins is not more than 40 million, I think we should go for him instead of Šeško. So we're going to talk about all this because I haven't even gotten through the chats. Y'all are very active already, and I love it. I do definitely love it. Hold on. We've got, let me remove one. Let me put another one on. Hold on, guys. There we go. Big up. There he is. Welcome back, man. You got that microphone in? Is it working?
I haven't had time to check it yet, so I had my headphones on, getting a paper done, so I figured it out.
No problem.
Right now.
Well, everyone, say hi to Dylan. Dylan, thank you for stopping in tonight, man. It's awesome.
What's up, everybody?
So, Dylan, yes, Dylan and I are going in December. It's going to be a blast. Everything is all wrapped up. Tickets are done. Airbnb's booked. Match tickets are solid. We are all set, man. So, how's your day going, Dylan?
Pretty good now. I got one paper done, trying to get started on another one, and nice. I saw the podcast come on. I was listening to it. I'm like, hell with it. I'll just get on here.
Yes, and, I'm very proud to be your procrastination source for the night.
So yeah, other than that, just trying to get stuff done. Didn't have to go into work because of the rain because they have a tournament this week. Yeah. So they're like, we have late shifts all week, and I'm like, not for me.
Not for this guy who's got two thumbs, isn't working tonight. This guy.
That's right.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you could hang out, man, and join us. That's awesome. Good. Hope. How was your weekend?
It was all right. Was pretty lazy, so that not conducive to being productive, but it's fine.
Dude, it's so hot. It was just not like in the mood. Like I feel like such a bum because everyone around me is like mowing their lawn, and I'm like, it's hot. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. We got some new faces in here. Planet 256, welcome to the channel. Good to see a new face. You guys, make sure if you're new, subscribe to get us on that road to 3K. Everybody gets closer to the giveaway. Kai, big up Kai. Hope to see you again.
What's up, Kai?
Welcome back. Teresa says, in my opinion, with the squad we now have, Amorim will make someone a Victor Gyökeres. Can't say who, but we're sure to find out soon. Could it be Rasmus Højlund, who he turns into a Victor Gyökeres after everybody? Probably not. Probably not.
Come on. My jersey power.
Yes, you got to manifest. You got to be the change you want to see. Right? That's probably what Gandhi was talking about. He was like Højlund. He was anticipating Højlund way back when. But big up everyone. Big up Box. Good to see you again, Box. It'd be interesting. Do you think Amorim could get a younger striker and kind of turn him into. Gyökeres wasn't really young, I guess, when he joined Sporting. He was already 25, so he was a bit of a late bloomer. But I think if Amorim can turn Gyökeres into what he was at Coventry into what he does at Sporting and do what he did with Hillman, who knows, man? I mean, who knows? We're just chatting about everything today. We're talking a lot about Šeško Dill, so we're going to be doing a lot of going back and looking at a lot of scouting reports and taking a look at some of the rumors today. We're talking a little bit of loans, and then I have a scouting report. So you've seen a lot of the Šeško stuff that's come out today?
Yeah, I see that both we and our Newcastle. Hi, Denny. How you doing? We're both in the running. Looks like Newcastle with their money they're going to get from the Isak move, apparently.
Is that been finalized or anything yet?
No, it's all just rumors. But Frank, let's do it, man.
Yeah, man, we'll be doing it. We'll go hang out. We'll try to go to the Blaze. Dylan and I are going to walk around the stadium. We'll probably do the tour as well, but we'll be doing We can meet up at the roof of Hotel Football ahead of match, hang out, man. But yeah, I'm always down to meet up with people. As long as you don't stab me or something, we're fine. I'm always good for that. I don't worry about getting shot in the UK because you're not allowed to have a gun, right? So it is what it is. Not that you would, Frank. They went to a really dark place. It's all right. Baby knife. Deadpool reference for anyone who watches any Deadpool. I feel like I have a sneeze coming up, and I'm trying to fight it. Allergies are really bad today, so. But yeah, Šeško, Isak. I have no idea. We kind of knew that when one striker started to make moves, it was kind of going to be a domino effect a little bit. But I think we just seemed like we had other priorities. Seemed like we were looking at goal scorers instead of, a straight up striker. And it almost seemed too like we're looking for players who are maybe a little bit more better suited to Amorim's system in terms of those 210s than the players we have, because we didn't really have players like that. But Fox says Dylan joining Wrexham. Yeah, we talked about that a couple of days ago. I haven't seen any updates on that. Have you?
Nope. I'm waiting for the announcement now. I want the Ryan Reynolds or the whoever, I forget what the other guy's name from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, just to have this big announcement.
His name is Rob Mack now. He shortened it. His name is not Rob Mackle anymore. He legally changed his name. And maybe was it difficult to say? Does anybody find that name difficult to pronounce? I don't. I mean,
I didn't. But
I found it difficult to spell, but Frank, what's up, Frank? Frank, we'll be going to Wolves and Newcastle at the end of December. I really only go when there's back-to-back home games that are within a couple days of each other. Typically, that's a European match and a Premier League match. Last year, it ended up being 2 Premier League matches. I went to Southampton and Brighton. The Southampton match was awesome. So this year we got lucky. And Dylan is a teacher, so he happened to also be on break for the holiday as well. So it worked out very, very nicely. So, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I think I'm really just more excited for Dylan to go because Dylan hasn't been yet. So I'm excited for him. Fox says, what do you think was the issue with Osimhen and why only Galatasaray were the only team in for them? Surely it must be more than wages. I mean, he might just like Galatasaray. Maybe he just is established there. I mean, what do you think about that, Dylan?
I think definitely it was the wages that were a problem. He probably does like Galatasaray. I also get the feeling, and this is just from last year, before he went to Turkey, it just felt like there were some issues behind the scenes that maybe weren't totally reported on to the public. That it felt like there were attitude issues for me with him that maybe some clubs turned away from. I think, wasn't he supposed to go to PSG last year? And they didn't
have no idea.
And some other things. So I get the feeling there was a little bit of that. And now that he's over in Galatasaray in Turkey, he's kind of just doing his thing.
It kind of felt like what the whole Gyökeres situation turned into when it came to Osimhen at Napoli, right? Like they had this gentleman's agreement, and then it wasn't honored, and then Osimhen kind of threw a tantrum about it, and the same as Gyökeres. And this is why I get it in writing. I don't care, gentleman's agreement. But then again, what does writing matter? Because apparently, obligation to buy means fuck all these days, so it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. You get anything in writing now; it's basically just worth toilet paper at this point. But we might be hanging out with a with a member of the UVE community over in Manchester, Dylan. That'd be sick, man. And yeah, we'll definitely grab a drink, Frank, if we hook up, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. We're getting in at. It's going to be a quick turnaround by the time we get in. So because the match is at 3, so we'll be getting in. We'll be getting there. We'll be dropping off our gear and then pretty much just running over to the Blaze to just break Dylan in the right way. Although they get started pretty early there, so I might just have to wait for the Newcastle match for that one. But yes. Bach says, feels like Osimhen was wasting his career a bit, to be honest. I mean, it's interesting, though, because I'm not really sure what it ended up if the whole Al Hilal stuff was like how serious. I mean, obviously they threw a lot of money at him and he kept refusing. He must just want to play in Europe. They're in the Champions League, right? I mean,
yeah,
they're pretty much always there. Remember, I was at that Champions League match at Old Trafford against Galatasaray, even though I tried to block it from my mind. So they're perennial Champions League players. So it is what it is. So now we're finally getting through the introductions because we have not barely made it through anything yet. So we're going to talk about Šeško today, all the fresh rumors, you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's talk about Šeško, shall we? Because this is what some rumors we got today from Fabrizio Romano. So if anyone hasn't seen them, I'll recap them for you. In recent hours, Manchester United have made new contacts with Benjamin Šeško's camp to start conversations about eventual numbers. Newcastle are ready to bid if Šeško accepts their proposal. So that was the big news this morning from Fabrizio. He added another thing here. If Šeško tells Leipzig there's a club he considers special to join, there's a gentleman's agreement. There's that fun term again, gentleman's agreement between them to make the price drop to 60 to 70 million pounds and then 3 million to 8.5 million in add-ons, as Romano would say. So again, there's that whole basically carbon copy of the Gyökeres deal, right? Just gentleman's agreement upon gentleman agreement upon gentleman. Who are these people's agents? Who thinks this is a good idea? What do you think about Šeško? Is that a good price? Do you like Šeško, Dylan?
I think it's a little high just based on some of the recent things we've seen with him over at Leipzig. Leipzig didn't have a great season this year. I mean, he did all right. There was not as much build up to when he was at Salzburg in a different league, and he did well the first year at Leipzig. I think this was his second year, if I remember correctly.
Oh, we're gonna go back and look at the numbers. Don't worry, I got slides for y'all.
I think that's a little high. I think 50 might be a little bit better. But we'll see. I get the feeling we're going to be in talks. If he's going to be up to Šeško. But if he wants to come here and spurn Newcastle and make us just like laugh hysterically at Newcastle's luck, I think that's the way this is going to go. So I think more likely if it comes down to the club, they're going to go with Newcastle because Newcastle are probably going to have more funds available.
Yeah, I mean, if they sell Isak, they for sure have a lot more money available to them. Newcastle did just get, Elanga. I feel like they got somebody else, too. I don't remember off the top of my head, though. But so they have spent a little bit of money. I don't know, like, Newcastle's owners, aren't they supposed to be crazy rich? Aren't they, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head over the last couple of years since they've got these new owners in of what their PSR situation could be like, because they don't really seem to be spending like a ton. At least like they went big when they got like Gyökeres and like Tonali and stuff. But and Isak I think was their record signing. I guess they have spent a little bit now that I think about it. They got Gordon, Botman, who I really liked when he was at Lille as well. So maybe it's interesting though. Benjamin Danso, welcome to the channel, says United needs to focus on the midfield too because we need to sign Carlos Baleba, so our midfield will be strong. I mean, good luck signing. I mean, you guys know he's going to probably be at least 100 million. It's going to be Caicedo money for Carlos Baleba, right? I mean, but welcome to the channel. Dylan, do you have any midfielders that you have your eye on?
Just the ones we talked about before.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've mentioned Ederson a few times from Inter.
Yeah. All right, Atlanta,
yeah. But that's unrealistic at this point.
Yeah,
so Hayden Hackney all the way.
That's what's up, Dylan. To see he's trying to get on my good side. You just said that because you want the window seat on a plane. I see you. Box says, I think there's potential with Šeško to become a top center forward. I mean, there's always potential, right? There's potential with Højlund. There's potential with Garnacho. There's always potential, and I fully agree with that. I mean, that's what you're going to get with young players. I just don't know if you want another Højlund situation on your hands where you're paying a lot for potential. And then again, kind of like what we're seeing with Højlund, we're already talking about how much we need to get just to break even on PSR these days. I don't want to be in that same situation. And so and it's not even, you have to understand too that United are probably thinking that way too. We are definitely looking at the budget, that old spreadsheet right now when we're in the transfer market. And so we can't afford to make the same mistakes. So Romano's saying we might have a gentleman's agreement. Clubs are in talks. United have actually reportedly reached out already. So we'll see Newcastle both. So the media is really trying to turn this into a race, a head-to-head, a straight-up, slap fight to try to get to Šeško. Ben Jacobs had this to say. I'm getting a little less confident in Ben Jacobs, by the way. I don't know. He came out with some stuff later on or earlier today, and it was really out there. Fabrizio, I'm already starting to move a little away from. He came out with this whole percentages earlier, and I'm like, I need to see the research behind these percentages on things, man, because this is weird. But Jacobs says that United shouldn't be discounted, even though Newcastle are the club who's actually pushing for it right now. A lot of internal support to formalize a move, but outgoing is needed. Now, Jacobs adds that we actually pitched a bid to Šeško a year ago, and we're prepared to meet his terms back then. So that's what I'm seeing a lot of today, is that United have been scouting Šeško for a while, basically, years, when he was a teenager, even as from what I've seen. I think Roy Whitwell said earlier today. So a lot of people if I
remember right.
Good.
If we were scouting him at Salzburg too, he was the one we were looking at.
Well, according to Lloyd Whitwell, we were scouting him when he was 16, even before that. And Lloyd Whitwell said, we had the opportunity to sign him. We put in $1 million bid back then, and I forget the team he was at. They wanted $2 million, and then Lloyd Whitwell says, we went in for $1.1 million, and we went full Arsene Wenger on it. And it just didn't end up working out because that's who we were back then. We were cheap back then. It just is what it is. So, Bach says Isak cost 70 million euros. He had 44 goals in 132 games for Sociedad. Yeah, I like Isak a lot. He's probably up there right now with the Gyökeres, the Osimhen level, the Haaland level for me. So there, like I said, going into the summer, there weren't a whole lot of those tier 1 strikers out there at the moment. A handful, really, when you look at Lewandowski is probably on the decline a little bit in terms of that. Harry Kane's probably still clinging to that level as well. There's not a lot, unfortunately. Danny says, I'd rather spend 80 on Baleba than buy Šeško for 70. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. 100%.
I do that.
Yeah, but I don't think even 80 is going to get that done, unfortunately. Unless you give them Collier back or something. I don't know if that's going to happen. Buck says Šeško has more potential than Højlund ever did. I mean, he might. It's hard to measure something like potential, right? I mean, there's not really a metric for that. It's just, I think a lot of it does have to do with timing, the right system, things like that. Sometimes if you're at the start of a rebuild, it's not the best time for a young player to come in, maybe a little better. Who knows? I think there's too many factors, and I think that it really has to be the good fit. But that's up to the agent, the family, all that of this player in question to really make sure they're doing the best. Danny says he was no one before. You guys are funny. Danny says we wanted Tesco. Danny calls Šeško Tesco, by the way, Dylan. I don't know why that's some sort of an insult because Tesco is amazing.
Sure.
But and we got Asmus. Yeah, Danny's got all sorts of fun. Scam Show is another one that I've seen when talking about Sancho. I've seen Jarvis call Højlund Rasmataz, which was pretty funny. Bach says Isak's numbers have never been great until these last 2 seasons. Yeah, Isak, he was definitely. I remember when he was at Dortmund. That's how long ago I remember Isak, and he was already looking pretty promising back then too. And then Sociedad, he was doing very well. I'm surprised that he's doing as well as he is at Newcastle. But do you see any chance, Dylan, of Isak coming to United at all?
Nope.
I don't even see where he would go because Liverpool literally just spent like what a bunch of money on Ekitike, a bunch of money on Florian Wirtz,
They just got
Frimpong.
Luis Diaz is going to Germany,
Okay,
so
so
they
yeah, they
they,
could
they
spread
got
that
some
out.
back, I guess.
Yeah, that whole transfer is ridiculous. Well, Bayern are idiots. I don't know what they're doing there, or we're idiots because Liverpool could get that much for Luis Diaz and we couldn't even get a freaking transfer for Marcus Rashford. So I don't know what to tell you. Oh, United, we are the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to transfer banter. So Ben Jacobs had that to say. Santi JFM on Twitter says Newcastle are now preparing an opening bid of around £62 million for Šeško. United have also shown interest, but for now, Newcastle are the most serious contender. So again, some of this is starting to feel a little bit to me like we've been linked in the past, we've been interested in the past, and now I feel like again the media are kind of throwing us in there. I'm not saying 100% that's what, but it's just starting to feel that way because you'll notice it's a bulk of a tweet about Newcastle, and then it's a little part of like, oh, but United are also interested, kind of a thing, which I'm starting to see more and more of these days. How serious, Dylan, do you, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how serious do you think we are interested in Šeško at the moment as a club?
4 or 5. I
4 or
think
5
we're
out of
just
10.
kind of seeing if Šeško has an interest, if it's going to work monetarily. I think we're just doing the due diligence at this point.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle are going to jump on that much more just because they want to get a little bit of their window going. So,
yeah, I think Newcastle are really trying to do an even swap for, if Isak goes, we want a replacement like right away because if Isak goes, who else is, again, we've asked this for weeks, who else is out there? Like, there aren't a ton of options. I mean, there are, but not a lot of people are talking about them.
They can sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Again, Callum Wilson, Jamie Vardy. I said it on Jarvis's channel yesterday. I would take Jamie Vardy as a striker coach at United. Let him come in and coach the youngsters. Let him come in and coach Højlund for a little bit. I don't see a problem there.
I'd have him come in just for shithousery.
Just for the shithousery. Oh, you guys are funny. Danny says, I like Lucas Stashin too, but that's another project striker. Yeah, he's featured, spoiler, in one of my videos from last week on strikers, but I did a whole other video on like first team strikers, so there's a lot of them in there. So Santi Una had that to say. I mean, I know a lot of United fans want Šeško. I mean, 78% of you think that he'll be at United next season, so interesting. Like 3% of you think he'll stay at Leipzig, so that's interesting too. And maybe it's just all subjectivity. I don't know. I just don't see where the hype comes from because, like you said, Dylan, like his numbers at Leipzig haven't been like stellar. They just haven't, and so he doesn't. He's another one. He doesn't. I don't look at him and say like, yeah, he's the answer. He's going to be the one, the difference maker. He just seems to me like another Højlund, basically, like another young player who's had like a double-digit goal season and like. We're maybe having to develop him a little bit more. There are loads of Bundesliga fans who think that he's kind of hit his peak right now. This is who he is. So I don't know. He could maybe go to some place like Villa or something. He'd be a good fit for Villa, honestly, if they lose Watkins. So, but Danny says Arokaderi. I do like Arokaderi very, very well. I don't know if you watched that.
Him.
Yeah, he's worth the punt, man, for sure. Like literally 25 million. Like he's powerful, he's fast, he's strong, he's good in the air. I think he would buy. He reminds me of. I'm trying to think of this dude's name. I forget him now. I'm never gonna come to me. But yeah, he's a good player for sure. Bach says Šeško would get 60 goals in the Belgian league. I mean, we'll see. The Belgian league it's a tough league. We do have a scouting report on a player from the Belgian league towards the end of the stream, so make sure you stick around for that if you guys want to see a scouting report. It's on a position we haven't seen in a while, so spoiler alert there, but yeah, we looked at Šeško's numbers the other day. They just and compared him to Ollie Watkins. We'll go back and look at some of those. So this was his goals and assists for the last 3 years, Šeško, both in all comps and in the league. And you can see 13 goals, 14 goals, 16 goals. And the 22-23 was his last season at Salzburg. And so if that gives you any indication, like he's not getting like a ton of goals in the league, really. And we're not in Europe, so we don't really have to worry about that other stuff. But when he's not scoring, he's not really pitching in with assists either. He doesn't have a ton of assists. Now, I'm not saying strikers need assists, right? That's not why it's like wanting a defender to get goals. Like, cool, that's a bonus, but that's not why you buy a defender. So that's his breakdown of his goals for the last 3 seasons. Not great if you're looking at someone who's going to be the difference maker, right? Like I said on the channel the other day, Dylan, I don't know how you feel about this when you're looking at like, when you think of like tier 1 strikers who are the difference makers and trophies and challenging for things, I'm like, I need a minimum of 20 goals in the league, and I'm probably going to need a minimum of 30 in all comps over the season, with at least half a dozen assists as well. That's like my bare minimum for what I consider like your top tier strikers.
Oh, top tier, yeah. Top tier strikers, yeah. I think, looking at the stats for this year, it's not terrible. I would have liked to see a few more goals, a few more assists. You got to get to around 10, 12 assists for me, just to show you're integrating well into the system. You're making opportunities for your wingers and things like that, or your other midfielders. The 21 goals for all comps is a good improvement, but it's not like world beating. So again, it kind of seems like a little bit like Hoyland, although I think he's still better than Hoyland at this point in time. So.
I mean, that's a discussion for the other day. That was something that I said like to people, like, and then again, just because I have the camera and the account and stuff, it doesn't mean that I'm just this like pantheon of knowledge and what I say goes. But I feel like when I look at the way United fan base has been, I do think many people are in this anybody but Hoyland kind of mentality. And I tried to make the distinction. I'm trying to communicate the distinction. There's a difference between better than who we have and good enough. Like, those are very different things. And better than who we have is the bar is super low. Good enough, the bar is a little higher. And I think that when people are looking at Mateta and whatnot, I'm just like, guys, we need to do better than Mateta. Like, let's be honest. He's 28. He's had one half decent season. We can do better than Mateta. And he's going to cost an arm and a leg. That's who the guy. I was going to say Tony. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, similar to Tony. Would people take Tony? He's 28 now. Maybe wants to leave. Would you take Ivan Tony, Dylan?
Sure, if we can get him for a halfway decent price.
Yeah.
I think he'd do well with Emblemo.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a union.
That familiarity. So.
I question his judgment with the gambling stuff. I would want to make sure that doesn't. I know I'm gonna sneeze. I've been fighting it for like a half hour. Boxes, you have to factor in the league and the opponents facing. I mean, you do have to. You can look at the all comps for Šeško and look at who we faced in the Champions League and whatnot. You can only play who's in front of you, though, and so it is what it is. Again, it's really hard to quantify those sort of things as well. I wish that we had some sort of an algorithm for converting goals among different leagues to see what they translate to. We do not. I would say experience says we don't have a great track record when it comes to attacking players from the Bundesliga over the years. We just seem to struggle when it comes to that, but it is what it is. We did well with the defenders this past year ago, but other than that, it's been mostly no-go. But those are his numbers. This is where Šeško sees a lot of his action. So this is from the last 2 seasons. So he's getting a little bit more involved. So when he got a little bit more touches in the box in 23-24, because he was a little bit more of the focal point. Last year, they kind of started with a 2 system. So it was Openda and Šeško. Šeško's getting a little more ball deeper, contributing a little bit more to the buildup, kind of playing a tandem a little bit in the attack with Openda, who basically lives offside. So it is what it is. But so he's getting touches kind of all over the place, looking for those long out balls, those switches of play as well. So he definitely added a couple strings to his bow, but again, just not what I'm really confident in. These are his percentiles for the last couple of years as well, just so everyone can see what we're talking about here. So again, those carries and those take-ons improved a little bit last year because he was getting the ball more and carrying it rather than being the straight-up focal point. And so you see a boost as well. And that's, I mean, it's pretty, I'm just not seeing enough there to really fill me with a ton of confidence from a player. Like he's actually went down a little bit from his non-penalty goals as well, and his non-penalty XG. Like he literally like down by half almost of his non-penalty goals last year. So it's just not, to me, that's not something that screams to me like that's amazing. Like that's worth 70 million pounds. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm the only one. What do you think when you look at stuff like that, Dylan? Because I don't see it.
No, 70's not. I wouldn't pay 70.
Yeah.
Like I said, 50-ish. It's a few add-ons like that. That's fine with me. I think he definitely do a job. I think he's trying to get more involved with the system. I like Danny's red flag for me.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he'd do okay. But if like when you're showing the heat map there and he was dropping deeper, I'm like, Xerxes already kind of does that in the 9.5 system.
Yeah.
And I like Xerxes passing and his touch, so I'd rather stick. If we're going to do that, just stick with Xerxes. So
yeah. Again, I don't think it's kind of like Watkins. I don't think Watkins is bad. I just don't think he's worth what you're going to have to pay for him, and I just don't see what you're paying for is potential at this point. You're paying for the potential that he's going to somehow turn into something at United that he hasn't been in the last couple of years, Šeško. And that's like, what evidence is there to suggest that? What evidence is that's going to happen? Who's come into the squad and actually improved as an individual, kind of a thing? And this is me looking more at the club now, not just the player. And so, again, I'm going by evidence, and I'm trying to put as much context into this as I can by looking at heat maps, looking at multiple years, numbers, percentiles, because you can't just take a small sample size. I want to be fair, and so it's difficult, man. It's very difficult. Rob is giving. I appreciate the confidence, man. It says I know more than most English streamers as well. I mean, there are English folks who don't really care about football. There are Americans who do. It just is what it is. I would say I probably know more than some, less than some. It just is what it is. Really, I appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if maybe English or not has anything to do with it, but I appreciate that, Rob. Danny says, stashing similar numbers and style, younger, quarter the price, soaring in France, probably harder to in a relegation side. Yeah, Saint Etienne were struggling. He had an absolute great season. Box says Rocadere, 40 goals in 105 games in the Belgian level league now. Yeah, and Rocadere's he's getting better. I know what you're trying to say, that he's not actually good. And no one's saying that Rocadere is the finished article either. But if you look at his last couple of seasons, Rocadere's numbers have actually been going up. He would cost you literally less than half of what Šeško is going to cost you. And he's definitely looks more fit for the Premier League than I think Šeško does personally. But again, it's subjective. It is what it is. Everyone's going to have their preferences. That's why we put out polls and whatnot, so I can get everyone's ideas. So, but yeah, like you're saying, Dylan, we've got players who kind of do this. Højlund, I think, has shown that he can kind of do this. I don't think Šeško is going to be the hold-up player. He might win a couple of those flick-on headers from long balls, which we don't really play those too frequently. He's probably going to be good at running off his shoulder, getting into space, but without space, we've seen us struggle sometimes when we face teams that sit deep. We struggled in the final after Spurs scored. And when you do that, it's kind of like Rashford, it's kind of like Garnacho. When Šeško doesn't have the space and the pace to work with, it's really going to be difficult for him to make an impact in the match. And so I think instead of looking at compilations, what I would tell you guys is to go look at, there's this video, I forget who it was now, but it was looking at his last 20 or 30 shots total, not just his goals and what, but his shots. So you can actually see everything that's going on. So Buck said, I give Højlund another chance. Højlund can stay. I just don't know if I'd trust Højlund to lead the line week in, week out. What about you, Dill?
I don't think the plan's going to be for him to lead it in and out. I think they're going to rotate with Xerxes and have kind of based on opponent. One of them's going to be up front, depending on what they're going for. Because I get the feeling that some of the times where we have to go with the long ball, Højlund's going to be the one that starts. Where when we need to string passes together, they'll probably have Xerxes start, just to try to get some inside out action going on. So,
did you watch the friendly last night? Or was it last night? No, it was the night before.
I didn't get to watch it. I saw it was Saturday. I watched the highlights.
Yeah, Højlund was definitely looking. He looked better than he has looked, which still does not really put him in the positive as far as I'm concerned. But he was definitely like working on his runs a little bit rather than trying to hold people up. He had a really good opportunity early on. Couldn't put it away.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the reasons why he missed that, and I mentioned it on Jarvis's channel last night, were just, again, I think had a lot more to do with inexperience. He's young. Like, there's an opportunity. He had Max Kilman beat, basically, and got into a 1v1 situation. Now, what he really should have done, an older striker would have done, Hoyland kind of kept going wide when he should have taken that ball and got across Kilman to either basically create space for himself and literally create nothing but open space, or you're going to draw the foul. And really, he kind of kept going wide, and kind of lashed at it with his left. And to be fair to Areola, he did do well to come off his line and cut off those angles. But an experienced striker would have got across Kilman, or maybe tried the chip, or maybe taken one more touch wide and then had the tap in. It's just, again, some of the stuff with Hoyland is literally just lack of experience as a striker. He's only just turned 22 a couple months ago.
And that's something where, like, we were joking about having Vardy come in, be a striker coach, or just come in for the shit out of it. But he'd do well there to teach Xerxes, Hoyland, a little bit about positioning on that and what to do. So
and that's
if we could find somebody like that, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And Hoyland basically plays the way Vardy plays. That's just his game. He's not this hold-up player. He's not this poacher. I want space to run into. He's a Rude. He's a Vardy. Give me this ball, let me run, and I'll show you what I'm about. And so I think he struggled when we tried to add a couple more things to his game so young. I think that he does look a little better. He looks sharper, but I'm not going to bet the house on him anytime soon. And like Danny says, he did regress a lot last season in terms of some basics, but you guys don't underestimate the impact that mentality plays on this kind of stuff. The lack of confidence, the overthinking, the self-doubt, that will literally have you messing up even the simplest things ever. Just think about, like, next time you think about that, try to actually think about, like, walking down a staircase. Like, don't just do it from muscle. Try to actually think about it while you're doing it, and you'll be surprised at how difficult it all of a sudden becomes for a hot second when you actually try to think about stuff that should be very simple, right? It's really weird the way it does. Bach says bring back Rude. As a coach or as a player, because he'd probably be better than a lot of our strikers right now. Poor Rude, man. I feel bad.
You have to give back all the turtlenecks.
I wonder if he kept the receipts on those. The dude literally went out to, like, M&S and it was like, just give me the turtleneck in all the colors. Give me all of them. It's so funny. Oh, man. Florian Plettenberg jumped in on this as well, and he had this to say. We got a long one here, so bear with me. He says, United are not giving up on Šeško. United have presented the player with clear figures and their project. Šeško is impressed by United's efforts to sign him. However, Newcastle are fully in the race, not backing down. An offer is ready to be submitted any time. Leipzig are now demanding at least 80 million pounds. I don't know what 80 million pounds is or euros, sorry, 80 million euros in pounds. 69.5 million pounds. So again, right around that 70 million number that looks like they're wanting. That's just too much. That's way too much. Not spending that much. That's ridiculous. ITN does not think that we are actually in for Šeško. Thinks that we're being used by Leipzig to get Newcastle to pay. United being used to drive up prices or get new contracts? No, that never happens. This is brand new information. So Plettenberg getting involved again. I mean, this feels like a Hoyland all over again in terms of just paying big for potential. And we're already struggling, right? Financially to make ends meet. Like, it's just, and you can't take it back once you spend it. Like, you spend that much, you have to hope it works out. And even if it does, like Sancho, you're still not going to get anything back, really. It is what it is, man. I still think someone like a Gonçalo Ramos on loan, a Rocadere for like 25 million, I think those would be better investments personally. Or maybe like that straight swap on paper for Watkins for Garnacho. I mean, there's just not really anything there. I'm just looking at my notes here. So, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you thank Dylan for procrastinating on the schoolwork to join us tonight. I didn't even know, like, you were going to be on the chat. Like, I was, like, literally halfway joking when I said jump on. I didn't think you'd actually do it, but I'm glad you did, man.
No, I was like, let's see, I could read through some stuff, or I could talk about Manchester United. That's a pretty easy one.
I mean, it's just about the math, really. It just adds up. So, So, I mean, I'm sure we have been watching Šeško for years. I mean, some of those scouts probably got fired. That was a different recruitment team. That was a different manager. A lot of
Mhm.
stuff was different now. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much of that is relevant. We do have that Christopher Vivell connection, though. So they do know each other. They do have the hookup here. They're probably, in each other's WhatsApps and whatnot. So you never know. We could have the in. So Danny says he wants crazy wages too, so it'd be hard to sell Tesco on if he flops. Yeah, and that's exactly, I guess, the situation I don't want us to be in. I don't want us to be in this situation a year from now where we're all treating, Šeško the same way we're all treating Hoyland, basically, or Sancho or Anthony or whatever. Like, we already have too many of these players that we paid more than 60, 65 million for that we can't move on, and they just haven't delivered. I don't want us to get to another situation. So it's hard. It really is. Um, but apparently, Šeško is following United on Instagram now. So basically, that just means it's a done deal. So that is the rule. So it would be, I mean, for me, I still think snatch up Sen Lamens, clear some room in midfield for a quality player. Again, if you're going to spend big on one player this summer, it's central midfield for me. For striker, same options. Watson, Garnacho swap, Gonçalo Ramos on loan, or take a punt on a Rocadere. Those are like my three suggestions. And then you maybe spend bigger on a midfielder. But it is what it is. I want to go get my notes. Any final thoughts on Šeško before we move along, Dylan?
Nah, I hope they don't go for 70. That's going to be too high, and
Yeah.
I get the feeling that's going to cause more problems. So, especially like we've been talking about, we need that midfielder.
Yeah,
So,
I did think that Ugarte and Manu made a good account of themselves. Um, more so higher up the pitch. Both of them
mhm.
struggled a little bit in deeper positions, but someone who's just press resistant, composed, physical, energetic, strong mentality, has a good passing range. I know I just keep adding requirements. It's not realistic at that point, but that's exactly who we need. So I mean, we're not someone like a Vitinha, someone like a João Neves, someone like that ilk would be excellent. But
I think we just make a time machine and get Carrick and Scholesy to just
okay,
run that
yeah,
midfield. And
I like where your head's at. I mean, we'll get right on that. Let me make a note here. Step one, time machine. All right, good. Just
time
one
machine
time machine. All right, cool, awesome. I'm gonna
for
go.
now.
We're gonna go binge all the Back to the Futures to research purposes now, so we can
Hmm.
get prepared. So Um, so what are you guys
Oh,
voting
by the
on so
way,
far?
I don't. Happy birthday to Michael Carrick.
Oh yeah,
Today
big
or
up.
yesterday. So,
Yeah, big up. Michael Cares, one of the most underrated players, not only in United history, but I think just in football, just for what he was on the pitch. Such a calm, composed, just metronomic kind of presence. Read the game so well. Like, I love Cares. I've got his jersey around here somewhere. I think it's hanging up. Um, his autobiography is back here behind me as well. So really good. Oddly enough, if you read his autobiography, he's not a very self-confident. At least he wasn't as a player. He didn't really back himself that much. Fergie really had to kind of convince him of how good he was, to put it bluntly. So, which is interesting. But yeah, Kara's man, big up. Um, let's see here. Box says some modern United fans wouldn't like Scholes and Carey because they were not flashy enough names. Yeah, I mean, different eras. I do think the different eras play into it too. It was a different style back then, but yeah, Scholesy. I mean, whenever people want to get into a Gerrard, Lampard, Scholesy debate, again, it's always going to turn into a people kind of getting entrenched in their own opinion, but by their club. But I look at, like I've said this many times, I look at how other players talk about these guys, and literally Scholesy is just the one that. I mean, Xavi Hernandez didn't want anybody's jersey besides Scholes back then. Like that just has everything you need to say. So and Gerard, Sleepy G can get fucked as far as I'm concerned. So it is what it is. So Dylan, big question before we wrap up on Šeško. Where do you think he'll be next year? United, Newcastle, or Leipzig? Did you vote in the poll?
I put Newcastle.
Mm,
I think he's
interesting.
probably going to end up going to Newcastle.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Of course, my cognitive dissonance is going to kick in and that happens, and I'm just going to say we were never in form anyway, but that's how I roll. People can deal with it. So, Box is rating him here for me. Big up, Box. Scholes, Lampard, Gerard, Lamps. Yeah, Scholes. It's Scholes, and it's not even close in my opinion. So it is. I'll leave the poll open for a while for you guys, since you guys there's 61 votes in there now. That's awesome. Might be the biggest vote we've ever had on the channel. So I know if there's 61 votes, then there's got to be 61 likes, right? And that means we probably have some new subs. I mean, that's just how the math works. How many likes do we have? Who wants to let me know? Because
Oh, wow. I got my phone.
it better be 61 likes if there's 61 people get involved in the vote. So Box says, hopefully VTech is Bristol City's number one. Yeah, we are moving on to the next little bit here. So let me move this up here real quick. Sorry. A little bit of...
So far, 17 likes. It's 18 likes, it says. But
yeah. So this is coming from Fabrizio Romano. So Radic Vitek, he has signed a new contract, but he's going on loan to Bristol City. Now, we spoke about this the other day, that Vitek could be heading out on loan. Looks like that's coming to fruition. I did not anticipate a new contract, though. I don't know what this means. What do you think that means? Are we protecting the value of this asset in case he impresses and we can get more money for him? Or are we trying to keep him around, maybe on the off chance that he shows us something on loan and we can use him? What do you see here, Dylan?
my hope is that he shows us something on loan, because I'd love to. I mean, what I've seen from him in the few times I've watched him, or some of the clips I've seen, he looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, again, small sample size, but don't quote me on that. But I get a feeling this is a money move. It's like it's going to be one of those things like, oh, if he does really well, we'll get a high fee later.
Yeah.
So that's what it feels like to me. Not that I want that, but that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. See, I go back and forth when it comes to like the way, because even like Lloyd Whitwell, he was talking today about Ollie Watkins, who he's likes, and he's like, yeah, he's going to be 30, but we've done that in the past. And it's interesting now when people say like, oh, well, United have done that in the past, because totally different recruitment structure, totally different everything. And I get that similar vibe when I think about VTech now, because we can look at the way we've not really backed our academy keepers in the past, but that was under a different regime. So it's hard for me to balance out, like, this is how we've done things, but this is a different regime now. So I'm like, what are we doing here? I would love if VTech goes in the championship with Bristol, just is the best keeper in the league next season. They get like in a playoff spot and he is like Golden Glove, whatever, and we sell Onana and we keep VTech and making the... I would love that. I don't know how realistic that expectation is going to be. I think that'd be great. Box says, Lam is in VTech the future. Move on Onana. Buy into Heaton. If only they were that easy. Heaton just needs to stick around and coach at this point. Basically what he's doing. Yeah. He's just there for training, getting a paycheck, basically. You got to have 3 keepers. But, yeah, VTech, that one, the signing the new contract part kind of hit me a little bit. I didn't think that we really that big a deal cared about him. But it is what it is. But it is good news. You know, I think maybe that opens a door for him to get into the first team at some point. You know, it is what it is. So, yeah, that was announced by Bristol today. Other loans, let me get this off the screen here for a second. So, other loans going out there. Toby Collier is going to be leaving on loan, supposedly. That's coming from good old Samuel Butthurt. So, take that with a big pinch of salt. So he's the one that I've been saying, like, he almost was a sacrificial lamb if we were going for like Hackney, like throw Collier at Middlesbrough and some cash, get Hayden Hackney kind of a situation. A handful of minutes or matches last season, couple of injuries. He's 21, 22. I don't remember how old he is now. If he were still at Brighton, somebody would probably end up paying a big fee for him. I don't think that he's going to be getting like 100 million, but you know, because that's where he was. He was from Brighton, and we got him. Those are the kind of things that keep me up at night. If Kobe Collier were still at Brighton, would he get a big fee? Those are the questions that cause me to lose sleep. Supposedly, according to Samuel Butthurst, this is going to clear up a pathway for us to bring in a new midfielder. I'm not sure what loaning Toby Collier does for us financially. It does free a spot in the squad, I guess, but financially it doesn't really help us at all. But who could it be? Who could the midfield? Don't ask me to list them all because I've done way too many scouting reports on midfielders. I don't remember all of them. There have been literally way too many, and really all that does is remind us just how many good quality midfielders there are out there. But do you think we'll be getting in a midfielder then if Collier goes out on loan? Box, don't do this to me.
That would be ideal if we could, but
I know where you're going with this, Box.
Box, I'm all for that idea. Let's do
I
that.
see you. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you trying to make me cry? I told you, I only cry when I watch The Lion King, and then when people mention He Who Shall Not Be Named at Club Brugge. I know exactly what you're doing, Box. I will turn this car around. I will do it right now. Danny says Oyedele was a better player. Well, Oyedele was getting us some money, I guess, and that's how the club looks at it. It seems like we get rid of a lot more youngsters than we back, and that's normal. That's so normal, but it is a bummer how many we've kind of let go. Who you always going to play the what if game around? Maybe that'll be an episode of what if. What if some of these youngsters would have stuck around? What would have happened? Kind of a thing. But what you going to do? I know what you guys are doing out there, trying to make me cry. I mentioned him on Jarvis's channel because it wasn't my channel, so I could. That's the rule on this channel. I'm about to figure out if there's a way to ban certain words on YouTube, and I'm going to get the kid's name banned from the channel. But Collier going on loan, probably the one to go. I wish we could sell Casemiro. I wish if we could loan Casemiro or loan Collier, sell Casemiro, and then bring in a top midfield. Be ideal for me personally. I think personally between Bruno and Ugarte, Mainu, maybe Sekou Kone in and around there. Maybe Kone can come in and take the Collier spot, but we still do need a midfielder. But it's boxes we feel light. I think we're light in terms of quality. I think we just have a lot of midfielders right now. Casemiro is probably just going to be here for a while. We're stuck with him for at least a year, and then he's just going to walk away for free like every other player does when they're on big money. But we'll see what happens with Collier. Obviously, we'll all be watching VTech in the championship next season. If you get, I forget, what is the championship on? Is that still on ESPN Plus or is that on Paramount now?
Paramount Plus.
All right, so if you're watching Paramount, you can watch the championship. You can watch VTech. Nobody could really watch him last year at BW Linz because let's face it, who's going to watch BW Linz? No offense. But we'll all be watching it. So, yeah, Box, we're definitely light in midfield. And I think not even just quality, I think just midfielders who can play the way that Amorim plays. If you add that extra little filter, then it's literally whittled down to almost nobody in midfield. At least nobody who looks capable right away. So Mainu could still get there. Ugarte can maybe get there. Bruno is doing Bruno things. So, but we'll see, man. Dylan, gun to your head right now. Any midfielder you can sign, who's it going to be?
Yeah, like I keep saying, Ederson in Serie A.
Ederson. Yeah. What is it about Ederson that you like so much?
I like the control I've seen from him. I like he seems more press resistant than who we have. He's box to box. And I think he could free up Bruno to be more attacking. He could help link that play so Bruno could then go back up towards the top, which I think would help our attack more.
Yeah.
And so that's the big thing for me is having somebody that can be that person to move Bruno up, to link the attack, to be press resistant would be a thing. And from what I've seen, that's what he can do. So
sure. I'll bring him up here on the screen so we can see him for a second. Hold on a sec. Oops. I'll put Ederson's percentiles up there because we haven't seen him in a while. So this is what we're rocking for Ederson for percentiles. A lot of greens. You can see the progressive passes are literally top 12%. Take-ons, carries, pass completion, they're all very good. Shot creating actions, very good. He wins a lot of those aerial duels well, and above average for interceptions is 2. So it's not bad numbers. I just worry how much he's going to cost personally.
Yeah, unrealistic. So
yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot about him in recent the last couple months. I haven't really seen, the links have kind of gone dry. haven't really seen anything
Yeah,
else. So
Inter Atalanta. I can't
he's at
remember.
Atalanta. I know they all look the same, right?
Atalanta.
Because of the blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what you gonna do? ITN says Douglas Luiz is available cheap too. I mean, Aston Villa version of Douglas Luiz, yes. Injury prone Juventus version of Douglas Luiz, not really my cup of tea. And that's just because my personal preference is to avoid injury prone players. The hamstring issues that he started to get early on in his career are creeping back up this past year at Juve, which is a shame, really, because I think Douglas Luiz is exactly the kind of midfielder we can use. But alas, 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 alas. Gone a little quiet on Sancho these days while we're talking about stuff. Probably not surprising considering Juve just locked up Conceição after chasing him. I don't know what's next for Jadon. Now, we did get reports today from Patrick Berger with Sky Sports Germany claiming, and I hope you're all sitting down for this because this shit made me spit out my milk earlier. Apparently, Dortmund have made contact with Sancho's representatives again today. You can't write this shit. You really can't write it, man. I mean, to be fair, if Dortmund get him for cheaper than they sold, this is like the opposite of the Pogba saga for us, where we just kept losing him for free and paying for him. Dortmund like, no, we'll sell him big, and then we'll just bring him back 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is insane. Like, apparently, according to Patrick Berger, Sancho is open to yet another return to the Signal Iduna Park. United are maybe asking for around 15 million. Allegedly, Dortmund are discussing this internally, but nothing's been decided yet. This would just be the ultimate piss take. Oh, man. And honestly, it doesn't look good for Sancho, does it?
No.
Like, I couldn't hang anywhere else, so I had to come back to Dortmund. That's insane. ITN says Ederson and others are too pricey. We're in Tesco. I will not. What is it with the Tesco slander? Tesco is everything to me. How dare you? Yeah, I don't have a problem with Ederson. I just don't think we were ever really seriously in for him up until after last summer. I think we kind of moved on after we got Ugarte personally. Buck says that rumored fee seems to be getting lower and lower every week. If we wait until a deadline day, they'll get him for a $5. I mean, honestly, I'd take a $5 at this point. Fuck it. I don't really care. So I saw that from Sky Germany, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, that's embarrassing for pretty much everybody involved. Like, even from Dortmund, like Sancho's literally like, he did that scapegoat tweet at Dortmund as well. Literally the same one that he used like not that long after that at United. Like, it's just same issues there. I don't know what people are thinking. It's like someone who thinks they're, because they've been cheated on or mistreated by like their significant other. Like, no, he'll change. This time it'll be different. This time it'll be different. It's not going to be different. He's literally done this. The evidence is there. You can see it. Like, I don't get what people think is going to like magically change for them with Sancho. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everyone would be just happy to see the back of him, right? Like, we're done.
Yep.
What do you think was the issue for? Yeah, right. What do you think was the main issue for him at United? Why didn't it work out?
Mentality. He came in. He was the shit at Dortmund. Got that. They paid that big fee for him. Came in, figured, I'm just going to walk through here and do whatever. And I'm pretty sure Ole saw that at first. That's why they didn't play him on the right. They were playing. They wanted him to, but they mostly played him on the left because he couldn't. He lost any confidence he had when he figured out, I actually have to work. It's not like I can just use all my talent. And so as soon as he had to work, then he got in his head. Ten Hag sends him away, gets it back a little bit, but never the same.
Yeah, I was at the Southampton match 2 years ago when Ten Hag actually brought him on and played him as an 8. We were rocking up in a 4-3-3, and he played him as an 8. Like, Ten Hag did a lot to try to get Sancho to fit in. I'm not sure what Ollie saw in him. I'm not sure if it was a club-driven thing, like young English winger. We chased him for like a year, so I just don't get that at all. We still overpaid. Again, that whole transfer was just a shambles from every aspect. You look at it, it's just.
just the more I think about it, the more just the way he debuted with everything with Ollie, I get the feeling it was a club move, and I get the feeling it was
Yeah.
just like Ollie was like, okay, I'll make it work.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, Jaden. Let's go. Fantastic. Rashi, down the bench. Yeah, and we saw that with Ronaldo too. That was not an Ollie thing. Ollie even
no,
said after the fact, like that was not a good move.
no,
Yeah, we kind of went a little wild there after Fergie left when it came to just the decisions being made. I think Sancho might have been another one. I don't get what there was literally from a club that prides itself on being good businessmen or a club that was struggling financially. I don't know what the long term planning was with Sancho. 85, you're never going to get more than 85 even if he did well. 300K a week was either you're going to be stuck with him like we have, or you're going to have to give him a raise, and it just didn't make sense. So it was never going to work. No one was going to pay that, as we're seeing. Ideanza Sancho just can't handle competition at big clubs, hence why he loves Dortmund. I think physicality too. I mean, he had a couple moments at Chelsea, like a couple moments, literally. The best moment he had in a United shirt was turning Van Dijk into a meme in one of Ten Hag's first matches in like August of 2022 or something. That was it. That's literally all I can think of from Sancho. I can't think of anything else that I've seen from him. That was the only moment that stands out, just because it allows me to call out Van Dijk by name again. So always, any excuse I can to bring up that moment, I'm going to take it. So I can't. I'm waiting. Like when Justin and I came home, we were kind of sitting by in the gate area, a couple of Liverpool fans, and it's hard for me to bite my tongue because I have so much banter just locked and loaded, ready to go. But at that point, we had been delayed by like 10 hours. I was exhausted. I was like, I can't get into it right now. But Liverpool sucks. Basically was the gist of that story. All right, let's do a quick scouting report real quick before I ask you guys' opinion on something else, because I know I promised a scouting report. I feel like I've done a lot of those recently. I need to take a break. But let me see what this poll is. This poll is at 83 votes. That's insane. If we get to 100 votes in that poll, I'll give away 5 memberships on the channel. That's my pledge. So we're at 84. If we can get to 100 before we finish up the scouting report, I will do it. So let's jump into the scouting report, you guys. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let's talk about anyone want to take a guess on what the position is? I said it was a Belgian player. It's a position that we haven't looked at in a little while. Anyone have an option? Raja says, hopes he's going to pick United. So it sounds like you're a Šeško guy. No? All right, let's go in. Dylan, you have any guesses on what the position? Can you see it on your screen? Who this
I didn't
is?
see it, so I'm not going to say.
Oh, I didn't know if you could see that. Well, what a cheater. At least you're honest about it. No, not Vermeeren. I actually scouted Vermeeren a long time ago when he was at Antwerp. When I was doing my own site. So I do like Vermeeren though. Didn't really work out for him at Atletico, but he's still a good player. Now we're looking at a right back today / right wing back. So say hello to Zakaria El Ouahdi. Plays for Genk in the Belgian league. 23 years old, 5'9". This kid, so he's very much like Mizraoui. I'm not just saying that because he's Moroccan and he's a right back. He's actually plays very similar to Mizraoui. Got that skinny, lanky kind of Riyad Mahrez kind of build, but he's actually very, very quick, very good work rate, very good defending. He's technical, good on the ball. He shows up week in, week out. He's a good mentality and has got a really, really good passing game as well. This kid's actually very, very skilled. Looking at this heat map, like the guy just makes that right touchline like his home. Like that's where he lives. Like nothing. You can see he gets a lot of touches in and around both boxes as well. So he gets up and down the pitch, man. 8 goals, 2 assists last season with Genk. Team of the year in the Belgian second division in 22-23. He had 7 goals, 4 assists, which helped RWD Molenbeek get promoted that season. And even got a hat trick that season. For a right back getting a hat trick is pretty insane. But he knows how to get his team goals as well. As you can see, he lives on that right touchline, gets in and out of the box. These numbers are very, very good. So you start from the bottom. Defensively, for obviously fullback, you're going to want to defend. Above average for the metrics that count. Like that's what you need to do. But touches in the attacking penalty guy. Again, this guy receives the ball in high areas, gets it into the box, and the shot creating actions above average. He causes problems. He's top 1% for shots, top 10% for non-penalty goals for fullbacks. Pass completion, carries, it all is very, very good. I like this kid a lot. He took over for Munoz, who now is at Crystal Palace. You guys will probably know him from Crystal Palace. Munoz used to be at Genk, and this kid came in for him when he left a few years back, and he's done well. Very highly rated among the Club Brugge fan base, defensively reliable, technically skilled, high work rate, runs all day, good passing, good crossing, good mentality. Like, he's everything you want. Good in high pressing systems that modern managers use, good as an attacking wingback or as traditional fullback as well. I think, though, that since he's so much better getting into advanced positions, I think he's going to do better in systems like back threes or systems where you've got mobile defending midfielders or mobile center backs, or a system like ours where you've got cover where he doesn't have to worry. But as you can see from the touches in his own box, he's not afraid to do that. Benfica were interested, Dortmund are interested, Marseille, Rennes, Wolfsburg, all of them been linked. I think Wolfsburg were actually very serious, but I think Genk wanted like 10.5 million, which Wolfsburg did not want. But very, very good player, El Ouahdi, good right back. We are at 92 votes. You guys are getting there. So Data says, I like him. Their left back just went to Brighton. Yeah, De Kuiper. I like De Kuiper as well. Kyrian Isabe, another right back at Club Brugge. Guys, keep an eye on for looking at Club Brugge. But at Genk, he's doing it. He's doing a really good job. I like him a lot. So keep an eye out for this kid. I think he's already having really good seasons. 8 goals and 2 assists as a right back is insane, by the way. Dylan, you have any thoughts on this guy? You're familiar with him? Do you watch any Belgian football? I probably watch too much.
Yeah, I don't, so you're going to have to introduce me to the Belgian league. I know like 3 teams.
Yeah, dude, definitely jump on. If you got ESPN Plus, it's definitely worth jumping on the mornings, on the weekends, and watching a little bit. But Genk have had a lot of good players come through. Like I said, Munoz, El Canus came from Genk as well. Obviously, Rocadere is chilling there right now as well. So a lot of really good players. Danny says, Rajat says he looks crappy. Yikes. What part? The 8 goals, 2 assists, the high percentiles, the team of the year for the second league. Like, what looks crap to you? Let me know. Rajat, don't ever change. Can Man United get Doué's younger brother? I don't know. Can they? Let me know. What do you think? You guys are funny. So Doué brother is kind of high potential. Well, I'll have to look him up and see. Oh boy, how you doing, Dylan?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Just I don't know anything about El Ouahdi, so I will say, yeah, he'd be a good addition if he can follow into what Maz is doing. I think that would help us a lot. So just having another choice there, and it might free up some space for Dallo to get a fee and play more in a regular right back position. So.
Yeah, I don't know I think we're gonna have Dallo here for a while. He got a new number now. I'm not sure. I really don't know what that right hand side is going to look like between Mbeumo, Ahmad, Dallo. We saw Camus and Montato get some minutes. I think Montato got a new shirt number as well. Mazraoui. Who knows, man? When everyone's fit, it's a good problem to have. But it's going to be interesting because, Dallo was a Mourinho signing. But, again, he also got a new number. If everyone's fit, do you see Dallo starting?
I get the feeling he probably will. I get the feeling he'll be the wing back. If we don't sign a striker, we might just put Mbeumo up top and put him on in that right number 10. Bruno's going to play in one of the deep lying sixes. So
yeah,
that'll probably be what happens. And then they can switch how they want. If they want Ahmad to be the wing back in certain occasions or whatnot, they'll have some flexibility in how they're going to set the team up. So.
Yeah, I think we might see some fan favorites moved on next summer, and we'll talk about that a little bit as the season goes on because, I wonder what's going on with Ahmad. He's not defensively the best in the right wing back spot. He's going to need to do that with Mbeumo now. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be interesting. I'm not trying to jump the gun and say Ahmad's gone or anything. I'm curious what's going to happen. J Red, welcome to the channel. Is that Sonny Lammens decent? He is very decent. He is one of the best keepers in Europe at the moment. Excellent shot stopping, excellent save percentage, saves about 2/3 of the penalties he faces. Top 1 or 2% for crosses claimed. The guy is an excellent beast, man. He'd be great. You just Sending Lemons, I've said many times, you just get him just so nobody else has him, and then you figure it out after the fact. It just doesn't matter at that point. He's that good. Jay says, I'm worried about the right side from December when the African Cup of Nations starts. Mizraoui, Ahmad, and Buemo will be massive losses while they're there. I noticed you didn't mention Onana, so it'll probably be better for us if he goes. I always forget about the Cup of Nations too, because maybe that's why we seem to be stockpiling some left-sided players as well. So interesting. Yeah, forget about that. We're going to be without some of these players that we just picked up. So interesting. Interesting. I always forget about that. But he didn't mention Onana. I'm not gonna lie, that made me die, man. I saw Everton are selling their women's team. Did you see that?
I did not. I heard rumbles, but I didn't know it was actually going to go through.
Yeah, to kind of help offset their PSR. And I've seen some people claiming that we should do that. And I know a lot of other clubs have done that. I think Chelsea's done that. I think Lyon have also done that. I think Lyon also own like a women's club in the U.S. too, if I remember correctly as well. Mm-hmm. Would you want United to do that if it helps with PSR?
Yeah, I'd rather them do that. I don't want them to, but
I feel like if Jeff were here, he'd be arguing against this.
Oh yeah, he totally would.
Yeah.
But I get the point. I'd rather keep everything under the United umbrella, not have any other parties involved. But that's just I like having that control, things like that.
If it could help us get out of a hole, the question is, is it just to sign a player? If it's just to like bring in a player, I'd be like, that's a short term kind of a thing, honestly. Yeah. But if it were like, it's not like it's like Nice, right? Where I'm like, Sir Jim, you could get $500,000 for Nice. Just sell it, man. That could go to help us a lot at the club. Like, not just buying a couple players. I don't focus so much on like, let's just buy players. Like, it's not what I think about when I think about getting out of the debt and stuff. But I don't know how much money you would get. I don't know how much Everton would sell that for. Everton women's team price. I'm not sure. Everton's women's team could be valued at around £60 million if sold to a sister company. That's £60 million. That's like a couple players at most, like in one summer. I don't really know if that's for the negative PR hit. I don't know what that would do.
Yeah, we've got enough negative PR. We don't need that. So,
what are you guys saying in the chat? Box says yes, do it. Oh boy, that's like it's like one player. I mean, it could literally make the difference between getting someone like Baleba or not in the summer. But is that worth it? The message that it sends. The women's team has not been treated very well by us since we started. Really, let's just be honest. They didn't have like restrooms at the training. They had to walk whatever to go get training. They haven't really been treated well. So many players have come and gone. Mark Skinner's not treated very well. They got kicked out of their training grounds while we revamped Carrington for the first team as well. So it seems like that the shit is kind of rolling downhill a little bit these days. The women's team are getting the hit on that. Do you see a world where we do sell the women's team to dig out of a hole? It's probably got to be worth more than Everton's women's team, right? I mean, we got trophies in the last couple of years. A couple of our players just won the Euros yesterday. Like, it's like, right? We've got to go for maybe 100, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thought process, but I get the feeling that they're going to undersell.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, we'll give you 40 or something just because, well, you haven't won a title. You just won like the one FA Cup. So.
Yeah. And like Rob says, I mean, Chelsea sold the women's team to themselves. Chelsea are literally selling themselves everything. Oh, I like this hotel. I like it too, me. It's like Gollum looking in the reflection pool or something. Like, I wants it. Sells it to me. Okay, cool. It's just, I guess maybe that's the bigger thing is like, do you want us to be doing those kind of deals, basically? Like that was an honest question. Do you want us to be doing some of these weird, like I've said many times, Chelsea are probably not the team to look at as far as an example of how to do things. City are the same. Would you want United to just kind of tiptoeing into that realm in terms of, you said no?
No, that doesn't do it for me. It seems wrong. But it's more of just a emotional response than actually logical. So
Yeah, we always got to freaking get on our high horse here, don't we? Yeah, I don't like it's the same as like I don't want to get all political. I don't It's the same as like being state owned. Like it's just getting into a place that I just maybe it's boring, maybe it's a little bit more of a traditionalist mindset. It's just something I don't want United to have to do. I like that we're not like that, if that makes sense. I like that we're not doing these kind of weird deals and stuff. I'm not saying that our hands are clean in terms of owners. I don't know the ins and outs of Sir Jim. I know the ins and outs of a lot of the Glazers and stuff, but that is not that's not the club. That's the ownership doing stuff. But I don't know, man. I wonder though what it says that there are so many clubs that are doing this now. Like, what does that say about the women's game in general? Just if you're willing just to do that shadiness, whether it's actually selling to another party or selling to yourself, like Chelsea doing. Like, what does that say about the way clubs feel about their women's team? I've always long said that United just have a women's team just to look good on paper. Like, oh, cool, we've got a women's team kind of a thing, because they haven't really delivered and helped the women out a whole lot. I think if we get a new stadium, the women should get, and the women in the academy should share Old Trafford. But it is what it is.
100% agree with that.
You could do a lot with Old Trafford. I mean, you'll see when you get there. There's a lot of space to work with. Even if you even if you cut the capacity down, you can put shops, restaurants, whatever up there. You could put training like dorms or whatever. I don't know. Box said women's team would be worth a fair bit. We have 3 women who just won the Euros. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maya, Grace, and Ella all just won yesterday. Did you watch that at all?
I watched a little bit of it. I watched until the Spanish goal went in, and I was like, oh.
Dude,
I don't need to
even
keep watching it right now.
even I don't know where even like the Spanish women, and they play like the players in La Liga do. Man, they were just like dive in and stuff left and right. There was one one Angle woman got called for a foul and literally didn't even make contact, but the ref fell for it. I was like, this is ridiculous. Raja says need Lopez and Gavi to go get them on a year loan. I mean, you've got high hopes, Raja. I like the way you think. I want whatever you're smoking, brother. But that's pretty much it. We got 96 votes. You guys were so close to getting to the membership. Let's see, pick one. I'm gonna jump up on here real quick and see if anything has popped up since we've been live the last hour and a half or so. Dude, thanks again for stopping by, man. It's totally unplanned and unexpected, but such a good surprise, man. I'm looking at this. Romano claiming Kolo Muani is back on the agenda for United if he's still available after the U.S. tour. Do you like Kolo Muani, Dylan?
I haven't really seen enough for me to.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, exactly. I remember. Was it he was in the German league and he went to PSG and everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to do so well," and he's just kind of been like absent.
Yeah, he's another one who kind of went to PSG at the wrong time. Both he and Gonçalo Ramos went there when they still had Mbappe, they still had Messi. Like, what do you think was going to happen? Like, let's be honest. But again, Kolo Muani, another example of why you don't overgas somebody when they've got one decent season. Like, It's just not going to work out that way. I need a bigger sample size.
We'll see how Ekitike does.
Not really seeing a whole lot popping up. Box says Yamal cheeky 1 year long.
I mean, it's only fair. We just gave him Rashford. So.
Yeah, they owe us one.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you watch any of his friendly the other day?
No, I forgot that. He's gone. He's out the door. I don't even care anymore.
Well, he came on and then he played for a half hour. And then he came on. He came on the second half and then he left at the 76th minute or something.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure if that was just a fitness thing or just to give him a run out. Yeah, he did Rashford things. Just overrunning some things, over hitting some passes here and there. Just what we've always seen. So probably I think they're probably just letting him get a run out for the fans. So, but it is what it is, you guys. That is going to do it from us, you guys. But guys, please make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing before you guys dip out today. I appreciate everybody getting involved in the chat, getting involved in the poll. So far, 96 votes. That's literally the highest we've ever had on this channel when it comes to polls. 81% of you think that Šeško will be at United. 12% say Newcastle. 6% say Leipzig. So that's impressive. So literally almost 80 people say he's going to be United. Bach says, Rashford in a few weeks on the phone on Henry Winter. I need a new challenge. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you notice Henry Winter is just all sorts of dick riding since that interview as well. It's ridiculous, man. So, Dylan, any final thoughts on anything we discussed? Anything that you've seen that we didn't discuss that maybe I overlooked or didn't mention?
No, I got the Carrick birthday shout out. I want to make sure I did that.
Yeah.
Other than that, no. It's a good show, everybody.
Nice. Yes, it was a fun show. Thank you guys for getting involved. Make sure you hit the memberships too. You guys can see how you can get involved on those. Don't forget weekly kickabout on Wednesday. And then go ahead and check out the UVE store. Brand new stuff in there. There might be a sale coming up, though. Don't quote me. I'll have to go check and see. I forgot to look again. But there might be a sale coming up on the store. I think it's going to be like a 20% off sale for like 3 or 4 days. Might be the end of the week. I don't remember. But I will let you guys know. So keep a lookout for that. When it does go live, of course, I'll post it. So make sure you're hitting that bell so you guys don't miss out on stuff. Cheers to everyone for getting involved. Everybody, thank you for Dylan for stopping by. Bach says, is it Bournemouth next game? I think next game is Wednesday, right?
Yeah. So it'll be on when we're on.
It'll be on at 9:30, brother.
Oh, really? Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I thought I saw 7. But
yeah, Box, it's Bournemouth on Wednesday, but it's at 9:30 p.m. our time. And so, no, I'll probably be asleep by then because I'm old. So, but yeah, we will keep you guys updated on everything. Of course, I will be ready to go live. Tomorrow is going to be a little iffy. I got to go pick up my dog from surgery tomorrow. So depending on how she's doing tomorrow, I might have to keep an eye on her and everything just because she might be all groggy and she's going to need a lot of medication. So, but of course, we'll see what happens if anything pops up. But Dylan, appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you again. And hopefully see you again on Wednesday as long as there's enough to talk about, right? So, all right. Take it easy, guys. Dylan, say goodbye.
Have a good one, everybody. Good chat.
Take it easy. Yes, it was a good chat, you guys. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your night. 2 votes shy. Sorry, guys. Promises.